Cat Instincts, Part 4. This is a lot of tulle, Alia said, her voice muffled by the masses of said tulle. Marinette laughed and pushed open her bedroom door. Well, yeah. How else am I going to make a pretty and fluffy dress? Marinette said. Alia grumbled from behind the fabric. I don't know. Don't, the brunette offered. Marinette rolled her eyes playfully, but as she knew her friend was all for her making their dresses for the dance, she took it lightly. But then it won't look pretty. Mid-sentence, she cut herself off and gaped at the scene in front of her. What? Alia said frantically and dropped the tulle onto the floor to try and assess whatever damage happened. However, Marinette shoved it right back onto her face. Which meant Alia was mildly offended by the tulle attacking her face. God, what is it? Pushing Marinette's insisting arms away. Marinette seemed desperate to cover her field of vision with purple and blue meshing. Finally, Alia was able to break free, and what she saw astounded her. Chat Noir, the superhero of Paris and partner to Ladybug who saves the world on a regular basis, had fit himself in a rather large cardboard box with a goofy grin and sparkling eyes directed towards one Marinette Dupanchang. What was happening? Alia looked at Marinette with a questioning look. Marinette groaned and covered her face. It had to happen this way, didn't it? She muttered. Oh, of course it did. Whenever did in her life things not take a crazy turn? First day of school and become a superhero? Check. Goes to a fashion show and plague almost cataclysms the entire world? Check. Her best friend, aka Ladybug Fanatic, finding out that she knows Chat Noir personally because he's in her room curled up in a cardboard box and clearly just awoke from a nap? Ugh, consider it now checked. What? Alia nearly screamed. Marinette had the slightest urge to knock that smug smile off of Chat Noir's face. Hey, Alia, he said warmly as the brunette continued to sputter. Truly, he had no idea Alia would be over. And, perhaps sneaking into Marinette's bedroom via the balcony wasn't the nicest thing to do, but it wasn't like she had never minded before. Then again, she had never had her superhero-loving friend over while he was in either. This was a new situation. What are you doing here? Marinette sighed, throwing the tulle that had dropped from Alia's arm into a corner. I was waiting for you, but you took so long, so I decided to take a nap, Chat said innocently, even though he knew he was anything but. Marinette stared at him blankly. A cardboard box is what you chose? I have a bed, she said questioningly. But Chat Noir didn't exactly have an answer for that. Yes, Marinette's bed was incredibly cozy, especially when he was curled up by her side. But for some reason, the box just drew him in. The tight space to ball up into. It called for him, and who was he to deflect? Okay, I'm gonna need an explanation. Alia practically heaved, her brain finally processing the scene. Marinette looked at Chat Noir and wordlessly told him, with just a stare, to get the heck out of the box so Alia wouldn't have a whole spasm, because this was weird enough as it is. He complied, thank God. Mari, why didn't you tell me that you knew Chat Noir? Like, on a personal level, Alia said. Marinette looked at her sheepishly. She wanted to explain that she just didn't want Alia to ask questions on how they became friends because, if she was being completely honest, she didn't really know either. But Chat opened his mouth before her. Well, I don't think it's a good idea for a superhero to have a known civilian friend. I mean, Hawkmoth could use her as bait, so we decided to keep our friendship more low-key, Chat Noir said smoothly. Marionette nodded her head in agreement, even though she was internally screaming about how her and Chat Noir were literally hugging in public weeks before. Alia's expression melted into one of concern. "Oh my god, I didn't even think of that," she said. Marionette gave her a smile. "That's okay, and honestly, I was kind of worried that all you want to do is interview him," Marionette admitted, hating the fact that she had to lie to her best friend. She had to tell her some of the truth. Who was she? Lila? Psst, she was no liar. I'm gonna be real with you, kinda tempted to do that now," Alia laughed. Marionette rolled her eyes and threw some fabric at her best friend. "Hey, this is my fabric. Don't get drool on it," the brunette shouted. "It's your drool," Marionette teased back. At some point, Marionette and Alia were able to stop horsing around and get to work on the dresses. Hard at work, Marionette measured Alia and cut out her fabric with inches to spare. Luckily, Marionette was one to work fast, and in no time did she have a skirt all finished and ready to try on. "Ooh, I love it," Alia squealed, swishing around her skirt. It moved in a slow but elegant way, perhaps more fancy than one would normally go for a simple school dance, but Alia and Marionette were rather dramatic girls, so, no one really expected anything less or more. "I'm glad you like it," Marionette said excitedly. She just had to make the bodice, and that would take no time at all. Tulle was a monster to work with, but she had to admit, it just looked so pretty. Any fashion sucker like Marionette could not resist. "The sound is making me sleepy," Chat Noir cut in, yawning loudly. "He was, still in the cardboard box, mind you, and yes," Alia raised a brow. Okay, we'll just let you sleep then," Marionette said easily, unplugging her machine and picking up her needle. There was no hurry for the bodice, honestly, so she could just add some pretty lace to the skirt. Marionette seated herself onto her sewing chair, a normal swivel chair with a pillow, and began to work. Alia brought over Marionette's backup chair and seated herself with a laptop, working on a new blog post. To their surprise, Chat Noir tumbled out of the box and mildly yowling, and patted his way over to Marionette's feet. He had somehow snatched a blanket and pillow and curled himself into a ball, and began to sleep right away, as if he never slept at night, which, considering the amount of Akumas they had fought at night, could possibly be true. "Well, I was not expecting that," Alia said in a voice that was a little louder than she intended. "Me neither," Marionette agreed, sewing a piece of shiny lace onto the skirt. Chat Noir didn't even stir once, not even with the level of conversation. "He's literally your cat," Alia commented. Marionette smiled fondly at the black-clad superhero who looked a lot like a house pet right now. "I guess so. I told Luca he was a stray. Not a good response from the cat, though, let me tell you," Marionette joked. Alia chuckled. "Speaking of which, whenever did you two start liking each other?" the brunette said with a mischievous smile. Marionette gasped and nearly pricked her finger on the needle, all Sleeping Beauty-esque. What? She sputtered. Alia shook her head and laughed. The teasing smile was still painted on her lips, though. "Don't even try," she cut in. But Marionette was determined to hold her ground. "I still love Adrian," Marionette said, but Alia shook her head again. "That was flimsy. You and I both know that in the past couple of months, you've been laying off the Adrian Agrest crazy. And for all those months, I was wondering why, and now I know. And oh my god, this is the least expected yet best outcome, Alia said excitedly. Marinette still shook her head, about 7 feet deep in Denial River. We are not into each other, the black-haired girl said firmly, even though she was honestly very unsure herself. Lately, she'd been getting more comfortable. Lately, she'd been forgetting about Adrian. Lately, she'd been thinking about the next time she'd see that goofy cat, and not as city-saving partners. No, but the next time she'd see him as close companions and friends. It was rare that the golden boys whose smile was brighter than the sun that roamed her mind during the late nights. But more so, the childish cat that pounced on her ball of yarn that one time she wanted to learn how to knit. Whenever did he start replacing Adrian? You're lying to yourself, Alia said in a sing-song voice. Marinette's face went red from being caught in her thoughts. Alia patted her friend's head. No, but seriously, this is good. You can talk to him like a regular human. You're not scared and nervous. You're at peace. I can't make you do anything, clearly, or else the grass would have been relieved of his role as a clueless cinnamon roll years ago. But I think you should tell him. And that's because I can honestly say he feels the same way. He really likes you. It's really obvious, and I've been here for 3 hours, Alia said gently. Marinette nodded wordlessly and looked at Chat Noir. His arms and hand looked to be grabbing something. A silent word came from his mouth, and a smile made its way across. Alia and Marinette exchanged a wordless look. They both knew she was falling out of love with Adrian in the past couple of months, and unlike how it happened with Adrian, she was slowly drifting into love with Chat Noir. Not a sudden revelation, but a calm, slow, sweet descent into slumber. Marinette smiled to herself. I'll tell him. Soon.